2, 3.
It's Morphin time!
Welcome to the planet.
And welcome to Earth 2, where superheroes exist and superhero talk is the norm.
Full me.
I'm your host, Vito D.
Mo Crosby.
And welcome to the planet. This past weekend, the Power Rangers hit movie theaters. We went to go see it. I went on Thursday.
I went on Friday.
This is our review. Growing up, the Power Rangers was a big deal to me. Huge deal to both of us, alright? My parents used to buy me the toys. I had to share it and split it with my brother. There was a dollar theater down the street from where I lived at, and my parents would take me to go see the movie. I must have dragged their ass about 4 or 5 different times to go see it, and I mean, they didn't have a problem. It was $1 or whatever. They'd fall asleep. I'd be...
What do you mean? I had a birthday party, and they invited a White Ranger to my... I did not know how to act. Dude, I was dead. I was like, yo... I think I fought him a couple times. Like, it was... So you can understand, when we say huge, it was huge. So, we went in. What were you expecting, Vito?
I was hoping that it wasn't going to suck, pretty much.
I wanted it to give me the Power Ranger feels from when I'm watching the show. That's what I want. That's what I expected from the movie, Suck or Not.
Alright, so now that we both went to go see it, we gathered our thoughts. And we wanted to share with you guys how we felt about the movie. And whether or not, if it was good or not, if we would recommend it or not to you guys. So this will be our spoiler-free review. Our spoiler-filled review would be our podcast coming out later on this week, where we will talk on different subjects, such as this, the Justice League trailer, and so much more. First off, what did we like about the movie?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to start off with characters. What I liked most, what the character I liked that I thought to me felt the most more like from the show, Rita. I know you may or may not like her, but I really liked her. And her movements, the way she spoke, things she did, I really felt like it mirrored Rita Repulsa from the TV show. Especially when she went in and she was like, I want my monsters to grow. I want my monster to grow, and she was rising the big bad. That was amazing. I just felt like that, reminded me of Rita Repulsa. Another character that I liked, that I think we both agree on, or everyone who's seen the movie agrees on.
Everyone enjoyed him.
Billy.
He
took the movie and he
ran off with it.
Yeah, he took the Power Rangers and he made the Power Rangers his. To be honest, a lot of his humor, he was funny from the beginning of the movie to the end, and a lot of his humor was very unintended.
It reminds you of Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
There you go, Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. So if you like The Big Bang Theory and you like Sheldon, you should.
And you wish that Sheldon was a Power Ranger, it would be Billy Cranston.
It really will be Billy. So those are the things that the characters I liked. I'm gonna move on to the story now. The story for me, it was in the second half of it. You know, from the point where, if you've watched it, they had a campfire. From that point moving forward, I believe the story got really strong, and it stood on its own. It didn't depend on one person taking it on and taking the movie on. It felt very, from that point on, it felt very Power Ranger-esque. Another thing that I liked, even though it was really limited, the fighting and the fight scenes. It was, when I say really limited, it was like maybe 8 minutes.
Well, in total, it was about half an hour about the movie. But yeah, there was a couple montages here and there, or whatever. But
yeah, and that montages are great, but that's not a fight scene. The fight scene I'm speaking of of the most is when they're fighting the putties, and at that moment where they're fighting the putties, it felt really, really Power Ranger-esque, where they're doing a lot of banter between the characters.
Oh, there's like a whole bunch of talking.
Yes, which is what they did.
Around, yeah.
Yes, which is what the Power Rangers do.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we fell in love with the Power Rangers.
Exactly.
You were able to do flips, have a conversation at the whole time.
The whole time, and if you remember from back then, Zach would do a kick and then break dance for you. Like it felt very similar to that. Yeah. Another thing I liked was 2 things actually, the cameo and the end credit scene. You want to stay till the end of the movie. Yes. You definitely want to stay till the end of the movie.
Well, not the end, but it's a mid-credit scene, so you don't have to stay for the whole
credits. Yeah,
just a couple minutes afterwards.
And then the cameos there. When I saw what I saw, I was like, oh my god, this
Pretty
is
much everyone
everyone would have that moment.
everyone wanted to grab their phone and take a picture of it.
So
Just like that cameo.
do you have anything in particular to add to this? Any other thing you?
For the pros, what I did enjoy was the character development. You go in there and you understand that none of the kids know each other. They know of each other, but they don't know each other. And for them to join together and all of a sudden build like that family, that best friend vibe, so that they can fight together and pretty much stop Rita from taking over the world, it has to be believable. And I get it, and that's the reason why the movie took so long for it to get to the fight scenes. The movie's about 2 hours, roughly about 2 hours long, and 90 minutes of it is the build up towards the end fight. And I get it. I understand it. I didn't have a problem with it. To some, it might. Like if you take your little younger kid, they would fall asleep. But I get it, and that's why they're there. I liked that I didn't know any of these actors, and I like that they actually.
That was good. And they were great.
Yeah, and especially with some characters got left out. Some characters got left behind. Others got more of a spotlight. But that's gonna happen, especially if you have a movie where you have more, and we have about 5 people trying to save the world together. Now for the cons. There are a couple things that we didn't like. There are a couple things that we have a complaint about. Not that it's a bad thing, but I wish they would have done a little bit more or a little bit louder.
Yes.
But,
yes.
But in short,
it's not too much.
It's not too much. It's not
nitpicky, if anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if anything, it's nitpicky. Like again, a perfect segue is him talking about the story and the build up. To me, it took too long for us to see the Power Rangers. It took way too long.
I mean, you get glimpses here and there throughout the movie, in the beginning, in the middle, and then you finally see them at the end. But it seems like it takes forever to get to that point.
And again, like he said, it's a good and a bad in a way where it's good that we see development. You don't also want to rush it, but it's bad where it just took too long.
Yeah.
It just took too long. I mean, I understand the development.
But at the same time, that's a good thing because that's the same thing that people are complaining about DC.
You shoehorn them in, but this is something. These are properties. I think the major thing is these are properties that we know. We already know some of the backstory, so we don't technically need a lot of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it's got to be, it's got to be believable. It's for a new generation of kids as well, and it also has like little nods. So if you're almost 30 like me, and
you will find all of it,
and you will,
there's so many. It appeals nods
to everyone.
There's so many nods. So in conclusion,
it's not a great movie. It's a good movie. Don't pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes because what they have it at, like
44%. That's disgusting. That's the worst thing. I mean, that's the worst thing since Batman v Superman to me, honestly, because it's very askew. Because again, it's a good movie. You should go see it. You want to see it. It's not as bad as the reviews are saying. To be honest,
it's not a bad movie. It's not terrible.
It's just not great.
I loved it, but just because you love it doesn't mean it's great. Because I really can't see myself going back again to go watch it.
Yeah, me neither.
But it does leave different Easter eggs, and they hint at possible movies, as well as not too long ago, Saban mentioned that they do have a 6-movie story arc.
6?
Yeah.
Wow.
6-movie story arc in order for this, but we'll see how that plays out. But it does leave you interested in for a sequel, especially with the mid-credit scene and especially how it ends.
Perfect. Yeah, the way it ends, again, for me, the last half of the movie, the last 30 minutes of it, you could have taken the first 90 out and given me the last 30, to be honest, and I would have enjoyed that. And I think that's what a lot of people are complaining about.
So it does stay true to its cheesiness from the original series.
Rita was very cheesy.
But it also does appeal to everyone that's gone to see it. I've enjoyed it. Mo enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, go out and watch it. If you have already watched it, leave a comment below. Tell us what you thought about it. If you agree with us, if you don't agree with us. If you haven't watched it, try to stay away from the spoilers in the comments. But also try to tell us what you're expecting in this movie. Hit us up on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, Earth number 2. Earth 2 Comic Cast.
Oh, before we go, we're gonna have a spoiler filled.
Yes, we're gonna have a spoiler filled review
that's gonna
coming
be on
out
the
later
podcast.
on this week. It's gonna include this and other tidbits such as our Justice League
Just a reminder.
review and what we thought about the trailer that just came out. So this has been our review.
Bill Crosby,
Vito D
Earth 2,
signing out.
peace.